right, all you devils out there, how you doing? Happy Friday. Of course, if it's Friday, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. Now, before we get into this here, I'll get there here shortly. I'm going to ask your indulgence here just for a couple of minutes. For those of you that watch on YouTube, and we've got a pretty good amount of you, I kind of hope you all appreciate that I'm not prone to be pimping our stuff, right? So there's no advertising on here. You don't hear me every minute saying, go ahead and tap that subscribe button, hit that like button, send it out to your buddy. I don't do that shit. My thinking is, if you're interested in learning, our information, we're easy to find, right? You can Google us, right? Plus I've got links to our website and our membership options for you here just underneath the website. But every now and then, I actually get blown away at how good our content is. And I don't make a point of really showing that to you. Now, members, bear with me here. You know all about this. But for those of you on YouTube, I don't think you realize how much content we have, because every now and then I get surprised at it. So I'm over here on Vimeo, where we have the majority, all of our training here is over on Vimeo. And we do that, sadly, because we have bots that are in our Discord that steal our content. So we had to move all of the video training over here to Vimeo, which works out just fine, right? People are going to do what they're going to do. But I just thought it would just take a minute here and show you this. And what inspired me today is one of my Sensei Tutum, who, by the way, well, I should tell you that all of my senseis, they're all Elliott Wave certified. But Tutum, he's a level 2 certified Elliottian, making him a master Elliottian. So I tell you that because that's a level beyond me. He is really, when it comes to Elliott Wave, one of the very best. And he's just finished a brand new 4-part, multi-part series on Elliott Wave applied, right? Not just the theory, the application of it here. And it's just so damn good. God, it's good, right? If you want to learn Elliott Wave, this series here, worth the price of admission just from that. But we have what, 71 training videos in here, and it's way more than what you all see of me going through a wave count on YouTube on TradingView. I mean, we have in here, well, of course we've got plenty of training on TradingView. But we also have in here, we have a very, very active futures day trading portion of our membership. In fact, that's where I spend the majority of my time and where I invest the majority of my trading capital here. That's all focused on Ninja Trader. So we have all sorts of training in here on the templates that we have custom designed and built around the way we approach the market. And I would tell you this, it's not Elliott Wave based. But so we've got all of this here is all about application on Ninja Trader. Then my partner, who I would tell you is one of the best technicians you're ever going to find. He does regular office hours. You don't see him on YouTube because we kind of keep him for the members. But he does regular office hours where he goes through multiple markets and gives you his input. Then here's more template, more Ninja Trader templates set up here, more quant office hours. Then we've got things here. Here's on trade management, counting wave structure, how to apply divergence, risk management. I mean, here's all the belt training is down here. Oh, got newbie mistakes, correlation. I mean, there is so much content in here. Here's all sorts of GAN training. It's so far beyond what you guys see on YouTube. Today I just figured I'd just take a minute here and let you guys realize how much content is in here. And it's not about the volume of content. It's about the quality of the content. So you don't have to come in here and just do exactly what I do. We're giving you a suite of tools and the technical knowledge and background as to how to apply it, because no two traders are exactly the same. None of my senseis trade exactly the same way that I trade. No two traders should trade the same way. We all have individual personality and risk tolerance, approaches to money and risk and money at risk. I'm going to say it that way. But this is just a treasure trove of technical analysis training. It blows me away often how good it is. I mean, we're all the way back just to basics of pitchfork training, basic swing retracement training. I mean, there is just I gotta have to load more to show them all to you. So just I thought I would indulge for just a few minutes and just give you an idea of how much quality content is in here. So if you're a student of the markets and you're interested in learning these kind of approaches, we can be a good resource for you. Okay, with all of that, there's my little spiel here. All right, let's get over to Bitcoin. So this is an 8-hour on Coinbase here. Now we'll get over to the hard right edge. I want to just make note of a few things here. So I've got a lot of lines here when we get over here. I've shown this before, but for anyone who perhaps didn't see some of those earlier videos, I'm just wicking off now at this point here as we've moved beyond them. I'm wicking off these prior resistance levels that are here potentially for support, and you see the two biggies that are consistent with what we've been drawing up here, which are here and here, as we look from swing low to swing high, where the 50 and the 618. So if this is going to resolve, if we're going to end up labeling this as a 1-2, which is what I think is more likely, right? I can't promise it, but that's what I think is most likely. If we're going to do that, then we're just in the series of here's the impulse, and we're working through some sort of correction to get us into this zone, right? And as I believe this very sincerely. If the opportunity to buy Bitcoin is here anywhere in this range between the 50 and the 618, as I said last week, if you're trading crypto, I don't know what you're waiting for, right? Now, first, right, it may not be offered down here, right? The lows could be in. I don't think they are, but they could be. I mean, certainly, right? Given the price action today, I think there is still one more leg to resolve down here, and we'll go through the count. I think that's most likely. So even though, right, so we all feel better. Oh, yeah, Bitcoin's pushing 11 grand. So you feel, you relax your sphincter just a little bit, like, okay, right, so at least something in crypto is moving higher. As an Elliottian, if you're looking at this, it's going to be hard to reconcile how we get out of this without one more leg down. Now, doesn't mean we can't. It's not what I'm saying. Anything's possible. But if you're applying Elliott Wave, it looks like there needs to be one more drive down. And then I mentioned this prior. We've got the backed. Should we say backed or backed? Right. So institutions are going to have the opportunity to buy Bitcoin. We've got some sort of a modified ETF coming on. Point being that the institutions are going to have the opportunity to trade in Bitcoin and broader crypto. Let's say maybe the top 5 alts. And just thinking logically, with that coming, are they going to want to pay these kind of prices here? I might just from doing this for a long time, my hunch is if they can drive it down, right? If the support here is not so strong to prevent it, if some big volume comes in here, I think the market is vulnerable. I think there could be there'll be nervous stops here, as we rally, right? So that can be the fuel to drive it down. I think they're going to want to buy it lower now. Right, market might not create that opportunity, right? So it's all relative, right? If we're going up towards all-time highs, right? Buying in, well, shit. Now here we are at 11K, and we're going to, name your crazy target. They may not get that opportunity, but I do think that if they can, big if, right? If some whales come on here, the market is vulnerable. It could be easily spooked down into this level, right? Now that's just my hunch, right? And it's to some degree, I think the Elliott count supports that thinking. But with that said, all right, so let's get into the analysis here. All right, so I'm going to go, let's go to a 3-hour. All right, so I like the 3 because everybody else is looking at the 2 and the 4. All right, so let's go to the 3. All right, so we've been through this multiple times. So just in the most rudimentary look at it, sure looks like that's 3, right? Now we can argue about whether it's a zigzag or not. At this point, it doesn't really matter, right? What matters, right? So coming off of that, I get another 3, right? So I've got this 3, this 3. Now, this has been the mystery wave. This is very difficult to get a clean count, but just kind of looking, right? So it's, if it's a triangle, it's a B or an X, right? So it can't be a 2. So we look here. I think you got to just let's go with A. Now, if we're going to do an A, B, C here, so the idea being, and again, I'm not, unlike some of my technicians, some of my senseis, I'm not a purist, right? So I'm not going to I'm not going to label this as something other than a B. So if we're going to end up with a flat here, I'm watching those levels, right? I am, right? So if we just go from the level here now. Here, I've taken the 23.6 and the 38 off just to clear it up. But look here, as we come, swing low, swing high, right? Of course, as I often remind you, algo doesn't give a shit about an Elliott count, right? So all we can see is that what's happening here, as we come up, now we were tested once before, but we have a new low, right? Slightly lower, because this was a 50 to the tick. We are right in the sell zone. So we can anticipate that there will be some selling pressure here. Now, that absolutely does not mean we can't get through it, right? At some point, one side breaks, right? You can't, otherwise we go sideways. And we've been going sideways for a while. But this is, right, kind of sets up, right? So, I'm not saying that's happening, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did. How about I say it that way? So as we come into this area that we'll call the resistance zone, again, just dominant to dominant, right? Just all I'm doing is taking this length and then projecting up, right? Straight retracement, right? So we've got a swing. We're making an internal retracement at this point in time. Until we break that high, it stays internal. Well, we're right in the kill zone for a sell. And note here, now we're coming up to this. We've tagged it once. So as I zoom in there a little bit. All right, so we've tagged, so a little askew here, a little unusual in the shaping here, where we have a lower pivot here for the B, but note here we came right up and tagged it once. So it would be non-traditional in that you're not getting the higher pivot here, so we don't have the potential for a golden or just a corner pocket. It's still, technically it's a corner pocket, right? So if this low holds, we still have that 80% probability, which has been realized right here, coincidentally, right at the 50. All right, so little reaction, right? Not enough to break it. So we keep climbing. Now here we're going to tag it again. Here, right? We don't know, right? But certainly this is potentially some influence in the market. So I am not advocating that you be a seller here. That's not right. Rarely do I advocate selling, right? I don't sell, so I don't advise anyone listening to me to sell. That's not what I'm interested in doing in Bitcoin. If I want to day trade and swing trade, I go to other markets. Right now, for swing traders here, or for people that are looking for the right time to buy in Bitcoin, I would be very uncomfortable, right? Regardless of what the asset here, Bitcoin or not, I'd be very uncomfortable buying right here, right in that spot. Now, as I said, right, it doesn't mean we can't get through, right? Certainly we could get through, but this is a low probability trade. So it's the kind of trade, so think of it this way. So if you buy it and you're like, fuck it, like, man, I'm a bull, I'm a raging bull, I'm buying it, I know it's going through, right? And it doesn't. Right, and it comes up here, maybe we hit the golden zone, and we start to fall. See, to me, if I were to do that, the psychological impact of my doing that would be too heavy for me, because I'd be kicking myself. What the fuck are you doing buying right into that? It would just be so impactful to my psyche that I can't advise anyone do it, even though it's certainly possible that we do that. It's certainly possible. Right, we could have an impulse that's going here. This could be the 4, and we're going to kick up through the 5 and break that resistance. Now, you're going to have to draw, right? We don't break the resistance till we get out all the way, all of it, right? We got to get through this one. So we broke it once, right? So that would be, a little whisper in your ear, right? It's been broken once. So if we're going up here to break again, right, that's going to be some resistance, because you know damn well, right, there's going to be stops there. So if we get close, they're going to go for it, because those stops will be fuel to drive it higher. But I'm trying to make the point here. Is it so? We all have losing trades, right? That's just part of it, right? So, but if you were to take the loser here, boy, I would just feel like an idiot. Right, even though you could get away with it. You have to think about if you're stopped out. You're going to take a loss, right? We all take losses, but psychologically, what's that going to do to you? If you know that's there. Now, if you don't know that's there and you're just like, well, it's rallying, well, that's different. But if you're watching here, I've shown this to you over 1,000 times. And you've seen it, really, as I call it, T3, right? It's to the tick, right? You've seen it way too many times. So if you are, well, members, obviously, but if you're watching on YouTube, Yeah, if you're buying into that and you know that's there, I can't help you, man. Like that, you got to wait for the retrace. Otherwise, you might as well, you're better off in Vegas, right? Free drinks and a pretty girl to bring them to you, right? Because you're just rolling the dice here. Yeah, go ahead and hit that 17. I mean, yeah, sure. You could get a 4, right? But is that a smart draw at the blackjack table? You know, it's just trying to give you guys just, you know, I have made trades that I kicked myself so hard for doing because I knew better. I just impulsive, or I was revenge trading and motherfuckers. I've been there. I've been that guy. You gotta just think about more than just, am I going to make money or not? It's a little bit more. If you're trying to do this for the long term, you got to think a little bit beyond, is it a winner or a loser? If you're going back through your trades, I mean, that's the real value of going back through your trades. I do it every day, particularly in the day trading stuff. Was this a smart trade? Win or lose? Is that a trade I'd take 10 out of 10 times? Here, that's a trade I don't take 10 out of 10 times. Now, you can have, this goes up, you can be, all the comments, right? Say, oh, you should have bought it, right? This is my trading plan, right? I would never buy that. Now, the only reason I might is if there was a competing algo down here, right? So if there was something like this and I was a buyer here, then maybe not a great example. I would need the target to be a little further beyond that golden zone. So I was because they're always, right? There's always an algo on the other side. But let's say I was going for second target here, or in a larger swing, we'd have first target at something like that. Then I might, if I had enough room here, knowing, well, I got to get through that. If I get through it, then I got a target up here, and I'm just using second target here as the example. But look what second target is going to run into, right? So do you stay long there? Let's say this happens and you catch it and you come right up to the big golden zone. You staying long there? Because, right, so human emotion, greed kicks in. Oh, it could go, look at that third target. It could do, oh man, maybe we'll get fourth target. Yeah, maybe, but is that the smart play? For me, I'm out here. Right, assuming all of this wasn't here and I was just looking at, I'm coming into a big golden zone here, I'm out. I've got a limit order sitting there. I don't care what happens, because to continue going here, even though it could happen, if I don't, right, so again, it's back to what's the impact to me psychologically. If I don't do it and I give back 30, 40% of the trade, I am kicking myself because I know better. And so do you, right? Members, you definitely know better. If you're new to trading and you're just going, this fucking algo thing is a little weird. I see it all over the place. How can we ever break through? You got to know where at least the big ones are. I don't know how anyone trades without knowing where those are. Right? You see it way, way, way too often. So just a little fuel for thought here in terms of where's the next trade? Is there a trade here? Well, as we've talked a lot here, I guarantee, I bet if I went to 10 Elliotticians, I promise you we'd get 10 different counts here, right? Because I ask, right? I have some of the best Elliotticians on the planet working for me, and we all come up with something just a tiny bit different, right? It's just how we interpret things, right? So the broader, right? We're all looking at a WXY, some sort of complex correction here, right? It doesn't take, well, you throw the Elliott out. We can just look at the broad structure of the market, right? We've got something corrective going on. Look, we've had something impulsive. Now we're going sideways. So you could just think of it that way. Trend, consolidation. Now it's a pretty big consolidation zone, right? That's a pretty big consolidation zone, but that's all we're doing. We're just in a holding pattern, holding, going sideways. Look at the volume profile, right? Look at all, you consider that one standard deviation, right? It's just all we're doing is just bouncing back and forth and going sideways. So is this really tradable? I'm not doing any trading in here. I'm long and strong. I'm long, but I'm long. I'm not threatened by any of this price action here. So I just ride it out until something tradable presents itself. Right now, and since I'm not an advocate of shorting Bitcoin, I'm going to let that come and go. Now, if it comes down here, right, as I said last week, I consider that, not to be hyperbolic, let's call that a solid opportunity. Absolutely doesn't mean it couldn't get stopped out. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is an opportunity that you got to really consider. And I'm not saying that because I'm long Bitcoin. I'm not. I'm saying that just purely, it wouldn't matter what it was. The fact that it's Bitcoin, right? If you're watching this video, again, members aside, if you're watching this video on YouTube, you're watching Bitcoin, right? So if you get the opportunity down here and you let it go, talk about self-flogging. Oh my God! If I were to not buy that, and it went right, I'd never get over it. It's just too big. It's too good. It's too. We've been waiting. We've been waiting all summer. When did we do this? June. Right? We were right early in the summer. All summer we're waiting. We're waiting. We're just going sideways. If this comes down here, if you don't take advantage of that, oh my God. How do you not take that trade? If for no other, just swing low, swing high, we come to the 50. Oh, you're not going to take it because you think it's going to the 618? Okay, maybe, right? You could be right. What if it's wrong? What if you're wrong? Right? What if we come to the 50, right? Then we got an algo target here, right? We know there's going to be buying pressure here. Algo target right in front of the 50, and it takes off and never comes back. That would haunt me for the rest of my life. I am not exaggerating. I have trades that I can remember from my broker days where I got stopped out by one tick before a massive run. I remember them precisely because I was so, I literally almost broke my hand. I was punching the wall. I got stopped out by the tick. I was the tick low. Went up for the next 6 years. I will never forget that trade. If this were to come down here and I didn't jump on that, I'd never get over it. I just wouldn't. Right? It would be so much damage to me psychologically to let that opportunity come and go. Now, again, I'm not saying that's coming. It may not come. But if it does, holy shit, guys. What the fuck are you waiting for? They don't get any better. There is nothing I can put in front of you that would be better than that right there. And we may not get it. Right? In fact, the more I dwell on it, the more I salivate over it, the more I think we may not get it. All right, man, boy, I'm on a rant early here today. All right, let's get into the count. Okay, so here's where we are. All right, so I think the WXY. Now we are running into this. So let's get this off of here. Let's get this. I kind of made that point here. Let's look at this count. So this, I mentioned this last week. It looked like, let me zoom in here. It looked like that we had just a little zigzag in here. Now the finish is a little sloppy here, but this is as far as I'm concerned, we just got a little zigzag in here. Okay, and we've come off of it with an impulse. Well, so what? Just process of elimination. If we're going to call this a 3 or, you can work it. You can get the 3 in here. So I'm inclined to go A here. And then another A. And then this, I'm trading this as a B wave, right? It's a zigzag. So what else is going to be? It's not per where I am in the count. It can't be an X wave. So I'm just going A, B, C here, looking for the B of the C of the Y. That's the simplest thing I can come up with here. Could there be another way to count this? Yeah, probably. Probably, but this kind of fits in with just the way I approach the market here. So as we just drew up, right? So I'm in the sell zone. I'm on a median. I'm about to tag a median line. Again, I'm not saying sell it. I have no intention of selling there. But if so the bank shot is just waiting to happen there. All right, so one to watch for. Now, of course, what will be critical here? What will be critical is how we move away. If we start to move away from this zone, let's say we tag the median line, we got to finish in 5 here. Now we get that. Oh man, we don't have it yet. We're a long way from it, right? So we're pushing 11K, and I'm talking about being a buyer down here at 8,500. All right, so pretty big correction. Now, a couple of things to note here. Let me move this off here. I won't go. Shit, I'm already at 25 minutes. Just to sort of factor this in. All right, let's get this over here. All right, so I've been using this tool a lot here, and this is kind of interesting. So I'm going to take this off just to clear up the chart. All right, so I've got the, let me show it to you this way. So I'm just using the fib tool here, but all I've got here is just a measured move. Well, I guess I would have to do it this way. All right, so it's just a measured move, right? So here I've got the negative 127 on it. So here's my swing, here's my 50, here's my 61865, here's my golden zone, negative 23, negative 618, right? I happen to have the 127 if we get something beyond that. Okay, so that's all I've got here, right, in terms of settings. So I can't help but do this, right? I gotta do this, right? So I gotta connect these 4 pivots. Right, now when I do that, so it's unusual, right, that I can get all 4 to tag to the tick, right? Now, yeah, we miss here. Yeah, I see it. But look what we do here. As this comes down here, so we get these both tag, and they were both technical. I've shown you guys that before. They were both at algo targets. Right, we double bottom here, and then we go up. Well, now look as we come down here, how the golden zone tags here. We get a little through here, but we're getting the 50. Here's the 50. We come golden zone. Is that not incredible? So golden zone off of the channel. Boom. Right now we come back here. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, we break it, but that gives me that pivot. And really, you know, if you look at this, I'm just, you know, that's there from. In fact, let me take this off just to clear up the chart. See, I see this, right? I just see these pivots here. Right, this has been the support zone here, and it's what do we got here? Let's call it 9,500 to, well, it's about a $500 swing. 9,500 to 9,000. I'm rounding slightly, right? It'd be different exchange to exchange. Here on Coinbase Pro, it's about a $500 range here. It's about maybe 400. So we've got this support zone here. It's been tested repeatedly. Now, note additionally, right, as we come up here, what we're about to run into, right? So we're hitting the we're hitting the median line, right in line with the downsloping channel from those 3 pivots. Now, that's going to take a big rip to get through that, right? Just, right, you know, every trader on the planet has drawn a trend line there, right? Remember, the market creates these, right? So the fact that we're going to bump into that there, it creates the possibility that we get the pivot there. Now, it doesn't guarantee it, but we create, certainly we have an opportunity zone here. So for those of you that are interested in selling, that's one you might consider. Again, I wouldn't just be sitting there with limit orders. I'd wait for the retrace, looking to get into the, so I'd look for the internal retracement here to go beyond, to go external, to give me the 3, the 4, and the 5 to get us down to where we're trying to get, or where we hope we get the opportunity to buy. So if this is going to trade as my 3, well, in the context of the internal ABC, of this being my A, this being my B, and my C, I've got the impulse going in. So I've got that candidate here for that B to come down here towards my C. Wouldn't that be interesting if it were right at the golden zone here? So put it all together. What do we get? All right, so we go swing low, swing high. Golden zone to fib channel golden zone. All right, so can we get something like this down here for that range? Even tighten it up a little bit more. So you'd have the 50. Boy, that would be sexy. So you'd have the 50 and the golden zone here as that target on top of the 50 from the low. All right, I mean, boy, they just, is it going to happen? I don't know. I think so. But holy shit, talk about confluence. Right, or you could even just do it this way and say, where's all that support, right? So tie it to the volume profile. There's point of control right there. Boy, that would be that's the kind of thing that just makes a technician just, well, I won't say what I was going to say, but that is a sexy trade, right? If we're offered that, Jesus Christ, guys, you got to take that. You got to take that. Don't let that go by. Now, you want to ladder in, maybe start at the 50, because we could go deeper, right? You got to have a stop on it. I'm not saying don't put a stop on it. Right? Are you trading it? Got to have a stop on it. If you're looking to be a buyer and a holder, well, all that means is that they're putting it on sale, right? But this, oh man, that's a sexy setup, right? If we get it, big if, but that's what I'm watching. All right, guys, it's a little half an hour. A lot of rant in there, but just a few things to think on. All right, guys, have a good weekend.